Hey folks, Brian. This is a adventure review. What's the word for that? Campaign diary. There, that's the verbiage. Campaign diary for my Stranger in a Strange Lands campaign, Chapter 3, Waters Rising. We played last night, and it was a fairly short session, and the live plays in the description. Had some tech issues early on, where the recording was picking up everybody except me. But the mic on my headset was working fine, and the system seemed to recognize it. I think it had to do with plug it in through a USB hub instead of right into the laptop itself. But I ended up using the mic on the laptop, and it seemed to work well. I haven't actually listened to it. Maybe I should do that before I publish it. But anyway, c'est la vie. So there was some discussion up front. I missed a bunch of stuff because of experimenting and trying to figure out what was going on while we had started playing. I was short 2 players last night. For family reasons, that kind of stuff happens. So the party had just rescued a brother and a sister, a farmer's wife, a merchant, and a Hamaki warrior. They found the Hamaki's gear, although some of his stuff is missing. And the outfit, and they're discussing, what do we do? Well, Restra did sneak partway up one of the spiral staircases and heard the very large, heavy, slow breathing of something up there. So she came back down. So there's something very large upstairs that seemed to have been asleep. And so there's discussion going on. Okay, what do we do? Well, the rescuees, except for the Hamaki, they want to go home. They want to get out of here. The party has burned through nearly all of their rune points. Their magic points are rock bottom. Many of them are still damaged. Yeah, those undead things they ran through took a toll on us. Especially that last one. That was great. So they're discussing on what to do next. They eventually decide to go ahead and take the evacuees, the prisoners, back to Marsh Edge, get them out of back to civilization, back to where they belong. And I make some rolls to see if anything encounters on the way out, or anything in the marsh and going up the river. I did actually roll for an encounter up the river, but my screen capture software conflicts with PDFs, so my PDFs will not open if I have my screen capture software up. So I have 2 laptops, one I use for my camera for gaming stuff. So I need to get my PDFs over on that one so I can open it up on that one while I'm still capturing this one. So that's something I'm going to do for the future. So I probably should have run something either at the end of the swamp or going up the river. But for sake of ease, didn't worry about it. If I had my book, I would have done that, but we're still recovering from our flooding in our basement, so all my stuff's in boxes somewhere in one of the spare bedrooms. Anyway, so the party side back to Marcia. So they go up to get the boat, because remember, their boat got crushed, but there was another boat there that came down with the folks that had ambushed them in the hallway. And they head back up. They did run into some issues because moving, David has the visualization of coming down the river and through the marsh to the sunken fortress. But looking at things at night, looking at things at day are different. Looking at things in one direction versus the other is also different. So I had to make some rules on trying to, we're doing this. Yeah, this should be the right place, and so we should be going that direction kind of thing. They end up not lost, but it took them a while to find the river again. The male dark troll has got tracking down, so he can get him to the edge of the marsh, west. Or east. I can get you east, no problem. But okay, where along the eastern edge is the river? So they find it. They start pulling up the up along the river edge, and they get in there into the village, beach the craft. It's about dawn now, so they go and they brought their prisoners with them, and they go and meet up with the chieftain. He was in fact actually getting up. So he comes out and they explain what they did, what they found, and here's one of your weapon things. What's going on? So he has that guy taken and put into the stocks, and he actually goes down and puts the last weapon thing under, house arrest kind of thing, and he's discussing about, what else to do. They describe the old man that did the teleport, and they did a great job at that. And the chief director, yeah, that's the high priest from the temple, all right. And so the party's thinking, okay, we need to go and investigate that, or this other thing, or just we found what's going on, we're done, kind of deal. But they need to heal, they need to recuperate. And they're trying to figure out how to do that. Do they have to stay here for a week to get people up? Because they don't have. Well, I got a couple of room points, and there was a very short, minor discussion on can you recoup room points on a non-holy day. And I want to say that Rick in his White Bull campaign had discussed that last session or the session before to help get them some room points back in. And I can understand that, with negative modifiers and a decreased amount of room magic getting back, we could probably figure that out. But they decided instead to summon the Naiad. And the Naiad has 6 room points, plus a power of like 22, maybe 24. Plus they have 2 magic storage crystals, one for 7 points, one for 8. And so between her magic points, the extra magic points, her room points, we can pretty much heal everybody back up. Because while I don't allow stacking for healing 2, I do allow stacking for healing 2 and cure wounds, or heal wounds, whatever it is. Because it's a rune spell. It happens. You can do more. So they do that. There was an issue I was trying to deal with on, okay, he's not using control spirit to control, or control spirit, control entity, control cult spirit on the Naiad. Is the Naiad really going to help her or not? And so I made some dice rolls. They've got a relationship. She knows what's going on. She'll help him out. So she does it anyway. I could have been a hard ass and said, "Oh, I'm going to swim here in the lake," that kind of thing. But yeah, that doesn't really do anything for the game or the story. It does kind of re-emphasize the control cult spirit spell, which means if you summon something, you still need to control it, kind of deal. Which, while certainly is not evident in the quick start, and I don't remember any of the scenarios I've dealt with that specifically talk about summoning spirits and that kind of thing. With there's a complication there. Yeah, you can summon the spirit, but are you going to control it? Yeah, you can summon that earth elemental, but are you going to control it? That kind of thing. So, yeah, there's that. Not double dipping, but that duplicate cost that could be involved. So anyway, they get all healed up. They rest for a couple of days, getting their magic points back and that kind of thing. And there was actually a discussion on magic points because one of the players firmly believed that you could only regenerate your magic points if you were in fact resting. Kind of like healing hit points kind of thing, right? And while that makes some conceptual sense. And I like that, especially if you've got prisoners. You go in and you beat them every day, you starve them, that kind of thing. They're going to regenerate magic points so they can't cast their magic. So, yeah, mechanically for Glorantha, the way I would have reacted with that, if I was really worried about it, would be using a spirit. Because once somebody's got their magic points down to like 1, well, because of their spirit combat and spirit combat damage. But if you've got a powerful spirit there, you get a couple of magic points, bam, spirit combat, they're down to 0 again, unconscious. You know, you can play that kind of game. Excuse me, throat. Tried this morning. With that, I didn't want to do that. Although I am finding, and I found this with the chapter in my Korean campaign, Cavern Crawl, because so I started actually interacting with spirits with the scenario and stuff. Going, spirits can be used for all kinds of things. To replicate other game system mechanics. It was really cool. I like that. But anyway, they're all getting up. The chieftain told them he's going to go and talk with the priestess of the temple and what's going on there. So they're up in the morning. They decide, okay, we need to go back. Oh, it turns out that this Hamakti had just spent a year as an assistant shaman. And then that year, he went ahead and risked going through the shaman initiation, which he was successful at, actually fairly well. And his fetch had been captured in the temple in that sunken fortress. And so he is itching to get back and to get his fetch. He was at the time when they were there, he wanted to go. He wanted more to go and get his fetch than to help the prisoners. He did want to help the prisoners get back. But seeing the party and the condition they're in and knowing what's down there, he let it go. And so he's really itching to get back. David kind of understands the importance of that without his fetch, he's like, one-on fighter kind of thing. And so they go to the chieftain to check on him and let him know, hey, we're going. They get there, they find the household, no, not frantic. Find out that the chieftain's not there, that he had gone to the temple, and then from the temple had taken off to Runegate to further his investigation. So the party's very suspicious of that. So there's, okay, do we go to the temple here, or do we go back to the fortress and find the temple there? Something's not right here with this temple up here. We got to figure this out. And so they grab the boat, head downstream. That's where we ended the session, because we didn't want to involve. We know we're gonna have to get. Well, I actually got them all the way down to the temple area. They the Hamakti shaman with his second sight, they kind of traversed through the first level just to see if there's something there. And they had, by going around, his second sight reaches out to that central tower, the keep, and there's something in the keep with a very high power. And by very high, we mean more than 15, because the shaman's power is only 10. And by walking around, they try, it's actually in the tower there. The second level, nothing down there, but there's that. And they get to the room where the storage area and the cells were. There's a central room with a tap with the pillar in the middle. Excuse me. And he's right up there. And going down and a little further north is a minor vortex of spirits, and his fetch is down there, and there are two other powerful spirits down there. And so they go down the spiral staircase. There's a little discussion about spiral, which direction kind of thing, and why that is. And they get down, and they're in a room. There's some stored food and stuff here. And then there's a curtain against one wall. And yeah, all that stuff's on the side of that curtain. And so they cast they spend 8 rounds, I think it is, casting buffing spells. Everybody's got strength cast on them. Oh, the troll. 2 things. The trolls are more interested in finding what's going on with the chief than they are about going back to the fortress, and so they are doing that. There's also some discussion about the shaman in the woods. Nobody ever went to go visit him. I tried to bring that up, but I wanted to throw it in their face. So the party is down a couple of potential aids because the trolls know some combat magic as well, and they could have buffed everybody up too. But anyway, so the party is spending 8 melee rounds. After they get down there, quite discussion. Right through there, I can feel them. I can see them, that kind of thing. And okay, let's buff up, and we'll go and see what we can do. And there's some discussion about trapping spirits and what happened to the fetch and that kind of stuff, and how it can be held. And that's where we ended the session because we knew we were going to go into the combat, and we had maybe about half an hour possible of game time we could have done. And we could have certainly gotten the fight started. I decided to stop it there because 2 players were missing, 2 of the fighter types, and plus that would actually give me some time to orchestrate the other side, because while I knew a couple of things and had some stuff set up, I didn't really have a battle plan. And while they were discussing their stuff, I was starting to work out my battle plan. So I've got some more time to get that figured out. So that was our Runequest Roleplaying and Glorantha session from last night. Happy gaming.